starting now all the way till February 2nd, 2021, we're going to witness something like an energy tsunami. Okay, this is some explosive energy pattern that is going to shape our collective destiny in the next decades to come. In this video, I want to give you some month by month guidance on how to navigate this energy and manifest your dream life during this period of time. So make sure you stay till the end. Welcome back to Choosing Gratitude. I'm Karen from ChoosingGratitude.net, and this channel is all about helping you live the life you deserve to live. So if you're new here, make sure you click the subscribe button and the notification bell and give this video a thumbs up and start to manifest your dream life by choosing gratitude. A couple of weeks ago, I posted a video about December 2020, and I call that my warning, okay? And actually, there is nothing to be scared of. Some of you, after watching that video, you said you're fascinated with astrology, Chinese astrology, and you want more. And some other people are asking me, well, Karen, I'm scared. What should I do? Am I gonna have a Christmas this year? So first of all, before we go into today's content, I want to reassure you that we're gonna have a Christmas this year, okay? The world is not going to end. I'm not talking about some great calamity that is going to destroy the world. And that's not the message I receive from my spirit guides. Actually, what I'm receiving from my guides is that overall, we're in an up cycle in our collective destiny. So what you're going through this year may be painful, but trust me, once you go through it, the reward is also great if you navigate this energy correctly. And that is the purpose of my channel, of my videos. I will never post any video and tell everybody, hey, the world is gonna end, you're all gonna die. You know, if anybody posts this kind of videos, I personally just don't agree with that kind of approach, okay? Because I firmly believe that we live in a benevolent universe. The universe wants to see us prosper. In my last video, I used Western astrology and a little bit of a Chinese astrology to help me explain everything. In today's video, I actually want to focus on Chinese astrology because I've been fascinated with it in the last couple years. I'm actually currently studying under a Chinese master from Taiwan, and I'm just going into deeper study of this stuff. According to Chinese astrology, every year consists of only two elements. So those are the two main elements that rules the entire year. And according to Chinese astrology, your destiny is made up with 4 pillars. What are the 4 pillars? Your birth year, your birth month, your birth date, and your birth time. So those are your 4 pillars. According to Chinese astrology, every 10 years, the basic energy pattern of your life is going to shift. And also every year, the particular elements of the year will affect your entire life. So basically, you're really looking at 6 pillars. You're looking at your native 4 pillars, plus the pillar of your fortune and the pillar of this specific year. Since I'm making a public video, I can't really go into your personal birth chart, so I have no way to know what are your other 5 pillars, but I can focus on this one that we're all collectively experiencing. That is the pillar of this current year. That is the year of metal water, or in the last video I call it gold water. That's just difference in translation. But what you need to know is that this particular combination of 2 elements, okay, and there are 60 unique ones. So basically every 60 years we return to the same pillar. And also when it comes to your birth month, so every 60 months there's gonna be someone who has the same month pillar as you, and so as the days, you see. So basically in Chinese astrology, we're rotating the number 60. Remember we talked about the Tesla code, divine code 3, 6, and 9. Isn't it interesting that everything is interconnected? So we are looking at basically the grand cycle of 60, which means collectively You know, the last time we experienced this kind of year was 60 years ago in 1960. And if you're interested, you can go back in history and just look up what happened back in 1960. It was very, very intense time, okay? I don't want to go into the historical details of that, and that will be your homework. So feel free to post in the comment down below and let me know what happened in 1960 in your country, in your region, or in your family, okay? So now let's focus on this year. Even though, yes, this year zodiac rotates every 60 years, remember, we're also dealing with different combination of months and days, so that's why we're not repeating the history. Today, let's focus on the energy of the months and how they can affect the energy of this year 2020. And this will help you understand why I think that this energy is slowly rising and reaching to a peak in December 2020. But you need to watch out for this energy all the way until February 2021. And actually, Western astrology will give you the exact same insights, okay? So that's the crazy part about this. No matter what kind of astrology you study, you use different methods to analyze this energy, but you kind of get to the exact same results. First of all, this year is the year of metal water, and also it's yang water. Yang is the bigger one, the more expansive element, okay? So we're in the year of this overwhelming water energy. So that is sort of the background of this year. On September 7th, 2020, we're entering into a new Chinese month. That is the month of Rooster. Rooster represents the energy of yin gold or yin metal, and metal will give life to water, make the water stronger. However, since this is a yin energy, it's not as bad as the yang. So from September 7th to October 6th, that's the upcoming Chinese month of Rooster, I think everything is going to calm down a little bit, and you're going to see that the infection rate of the coronavirus is going to stay flat, and it's not going away, it's not going anywhere, but you're not going to see something too dramatic in this month. The water energy is still very, very strong, so you're still going to see a lot of rainfall, a lot of flood, maybe some hurricanes, but nothing really bad. October 7th, 2020, we're entering into the month of Dog, and the dog represents yang earth that is detrimental to the yang water year we're dealing with. So this earth energy in October is going to keep the water under control. So I think in October, things are probably going to lighten up even more, and most people think that the worst is over. However, don't forget that this earth energy is only going to rule our world for a month, and then it will go away. So don't be happy too soon. In October, you're going to hear some great news, and you're going to see, in many parts of the world, the economy are going to recover. However, that is not going to last very long. Remember, we're still in the year of overwhelming water energy. So don't be happy so soon, but rather use that peaceful time to prepare for the future, for the next few months to come, because it's going to get more intense. On November 7th, 2020, we're entering into the month of Pig. Pig represents energy of yin water. So now we're adding even more water to the existing overwhelming water energy. So once we enter into the month of November, that's when I expect to see more water energy and more intensification of this energy we've been dealing with all year long. Of course, this affects people differently. Depending on your own birth chart, you're going to react to this differently. And for some people, this may be even helpful. So if you're ruled by fire, if you have very strong fire energy in your chart, you're gonna feel this energy even stronger. What is your remedy for this? In Chinese astrology, the good news is in every tension, every struggle, there is a remedy. So the remedy of this fire and water struggle is what? Is element wood. So you see, if you have a lot of wood in your chart, Even though you have a lot of fire element in your chart, you are going to be okay. This is actually beneficial for you. And that's why it's impossible to just read one piece of your chart. So just kind of pay attention. If you're born in the year of horse or the month of horse or the day of horse, you may want to kind of watch your energy and see how you've been feeling this year. If you have been feeling intensified negative energy during this year, you know what? You may need to add wood into your environment. That's where Feng Shui is coming in. So Chinese astrology is really fascinating. It basically, according to Chinese astrology, what you don't have in your birth chart, you can compensate it with your environment. On December 7th, 2020, we're entering into the Chinese month of Rat. Remember, we're in the year of rat. So rat is yang water. So now we're dealing with double water. That's why I say that December 2020 is going to be the peak of this water energy. And another thing that Chinese astrology points out is that every element kind of have a home. For example, the water element feels most at home in winter. It belongs to winter, okay? So think about it. We're having a winter month with overwhelming water energy. That's when the water is the most at home. That's why December 2020 is going to be so intense. This is really going to be the peak of this year. Remember, the energy is going to peak somewhere around December 20th, 2020. And once we hit January, on January 5th, guess what? We enter into a new Chinese month, and this is going to be the month of Ox. Ox is again an earth energy, and we like earth energy because it helps. And actually, rat and ox can neutralize each other according to Chinese astrology. That's why I think that after January 5th, 2021, we're going to see a slowdown of this intense energy, and we're still in the year of metal water, okay, according to Chinese calendar, all the way until February 2nd, 2021. And once we hit 2021, we're going to see a slowdown of this energy. So 2021 is going to feel a lot like, you're just picking up from the mess that was created in 2020. And also remember, since we're dealing with overwhelming water energy, water is detrimental to fire, and fire rules our heart and our blood, which means you're probably gonna see a lot more heart diseases, high blood pressure, that kind of problems. So if you have people around you who are prone to that, make sure that they pay attention, and they need to be on their medication. You need to really be cautious about that, okay? If you want to know more about your chart and what to come in your life, feel free to book a reading with me. Just go to choosinggratitude.net/coaching. That's where you can book a reading with me. Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.